Now we're going to cover the history of the 357 Magnum. This cartridge is a little unusual. Now, when I showed with the history of the 38 Special, how it started off as a 38 Colt Short, which was a cartridge designed for the old black powder cap and ball revolvers to be converted into cartridge guns, they just kept going with it. And the 357 Smith & Wesson Magnum is a smokeless powder cartridge, uses the same diameter bullet, 357, as the 38 Special does. And the 357 Magnum cartridge is notable for its highly effective terminal ballistic. And it says here that the 357 Mag was based on Smith & Wesson's earlier 38 Special cartridge, and it was introduced in 1935, and its use has become widespread. Now, the 357 Magnum was collectively developed over a period in the early mid-1930s by a group of individuals in a direct response to Colt's 38 Super Automatic at the time. The 38 Super was the only American pistol capable of defeating automobile cover and early ballistic vests that were being used in the interwar periods. Tests at the time revealed that these vests can defeat any handgun bullet traveling less than 1,000 feet per second. Colt's 38 Super just edged over that velocity and was able to penetrate car doors and vests that bootleggers and gangsters were employing as cover. During Prohibition days and the Depression, that's where, if you ever listen, they call them the motorized bandit, was a problem, and they needed a cartridge that could penetrate vehicle doors or actually damage a car's engine to disable it. And, you know, like I said, they were using 32 Smith & Wesson longs, most police departments. The 38 Special was just starting to catch on, but didn't have the power that the 38 Special had. And if we look, same bullet diameter. Now, the only thing is the case length is 1 inch 290 thousandths. Now, the reason for that was to make sure you couldn't chamber it in a 38 Special, because the cartridge was much more powerful. Alright, and I believe that maximum operating pressure here is 44,000 psi. Or no, 30, yeah, maximum CUP. Yeah, you're getting a velocity, you're throwing, let's look for 158 grain bullet is going to 1,235 feet per second, which 38 Special ain't even getting close to 1,000. So a lot more energy, a lot more power. Now granted, the 357 Magnum was used more by law enforcement and hunters and civilians. The military never adopted it. Okay. And they used to have these guns, the 38-44 end-frame revolvers, chamber for considered earlier cartridge. What they did is they just built the 357 Magnums on the 44 caliber, 45 caliber, larger revolver frames in the beginning. And Elmer Keith was critical in development of the round and development of a bullet, you know, or a series of bullets to be used, the Keith-style bullets, which are pretty effective and useful this day. I cast one in 158 grains, and I use it for everything. Alright. And also, the 357 Magnum in a lever-action rifle kind of outdoes that. And short light rifles, old lever action with a 16, 18-inch barrel, it goes up to 1,800 feet per second, which makes it far more versatile than the .30 carbine, .32 Winchester. And it says in the 1930s it was very effective against steel car doors and ballistic vests. And metal plate penetrating rounds were once popular in the United States amongst highway patrol and other police organizations. Okay, so this was more of a police gun. And like when we covered the 38 Special, they said the 60s and the 70s became a more violent time. And the 38 Special revolver wasn't coming up well against a lot of the criminals. And it was seen to be underpowered, and considering it was developed in 1898 or something like that, it was a little bit outdated. But the beauty of the .357 Magnum is you had the power to make up with the shortcomings of the 38 Special, but yet the 38 Special was very common caliber and available in a whole bunch of different low-powered loads for target shooting or whatever. And you can fire the cheaper, less expensive ammunition for practice or target shooting with your .357 Magnum. Okay, you don't have to always fire a full power Magnum charge. So it made the gun pretty versatile and popular. So that's about it. So this is the culmination of the 38 calibers. Let's see. Yeah, 1898 38 Smith, or 38 Special. And it's only designed to go about 17,500, where the can go 35,000 psi with the Magnum. So that's a hell of a big difference. And also one other little footnote: the .357 SIG was developed in 1994 and named the .357, highlight its intended purpose to duplicate the performance of the 125 grain .357 Magnum loads fired from a 4-inch barrel revolver and cartridges designed to be used in semi-automatic pistols. I had one of those once. It is an interesting gun, .357 SIG. But I guess that never really took on. The police did use them. I had a police surplus pistol. I fired it, and actually during one of the Obama crises I could find .357 SIG ammo before I'd find anything else, because it wasn't that popular of a cartridge. So that's kind of a roundup in the end of our 38 calibers. And the .357 Magnum back in the 70s, the 80s, that was a gun to have, because you had enough power, they're accurate. Again, you could reload them, or if you already had a bunch of 38 Special reloads, which 38 Special ammo back then was very common, very popular, and very inexpensive. Okay, you could find all kinds of 38 Special loads, and you could use them in the .357 Magnum. Like I said, firing a lot of them light loads, a 38 Special, it's like firing a 22 in that pistol. Alright guys, that's my take on the history, and that's how we came from converting old cap and ball revolvers to the highway patrolman's friend, the .357 Magnum revolver. Okay. And if you like the content, please like the video, subscribe, and there's a link to my Patreon account in the description box of this video.